she'll basically pick them up and repetitively they drop the rocks down or whatever object they've got to try and break into the egg. Great job there. Now she's actually chipped a small hole in it, and they will test it with their feet and beak. Oh, that was a good one. There you go. She's testing it with her beak. Once she's got a hole, that's all she needs to do. Now we could be here for the rest of the morning, but she's going to try and prise the egg apart. So once they use the object like a rock as a tool, puts a small hole in the egg, then they can get themselves into it. They can then help themselves to the contents. So whatever is in the egg, it may be yolk or a chip, they help themselves to that food source. It is a very valuable food source. Birds like wedge-tailed eagles and even dingoes cannot get into these eggs without sort of using some sort of tool, but they haven't got that intelligence like this bird does to be able to pick up a rock, use it to break into that food source. Like I said, we could be here all morning. But obviously once they help themselves to the contents, it is a very good food source. If it's a yolk inside, it's said to be equivalent to about 12 chicken eggs for one emu egg. So that's a really good food source. Now she has some food in there and she's just going to pick it up and get it out. She's going to pull the egg apart. Now for these birds also, with an emu egg, they are quite tough. It looks quite thin on the shell, but the membrane is really quite tough inside. So once you crack the hole in the shell, the beak can pierce through that membrane of the egg inside. Now I just have to leave her go and get her food out. Pull it apart, there we go, got her food. Now again, chicks, they'll just help themselves to and just sort of pull it apart and start eating that bit of food source. So really quite a good food source as such. And once she's got a range of eggs, she may smash the rock down on a number of eggs until she gets a hole in one of the eggs in the nest. That's when they can start breaking the egg apart. So it's a very interesting behaviour to witness. Hopefully we may get an example of how we've actually trained this bird to pick up after herself. And that's what yours going to do, son. Good job. Excellent job. So this is trained behaviour. So it's like when you teach your dog to sit, you give it a reward. Basically that's what we've done with this bird. Good job. She's basically picked up after herself and we've given her a little food treat to basically say, well done, good job. That's what you need to do. But the simple message is, by Miss Buzzard picking up after herself, and I'll have to come back and clean the rest up, but she's picked up after herself. So the simple message is, if we can all do the same thing, Buzzard certainly has trained us, and we've trained her to be able to pick up after herself, we can all do the same thing. If you're having a picnic or camping somewhere, make sure you take the rubbish out with you. That's all really important. But getting into their egg, we did not train her, their parents don't teach them. It's known as innate behaviour or instinctive behaviour. So picking up any object, dropping it down, breaking into the egg, it really is a unique behaviour. Now this is our only raptor species in Australia that does use a tool to get into its food source. The other raptor species in the world is the Egyptian vulture, of course, getting into ostrich eggs. So really very unique. Now this bird's found around woodland.